sometimes we hit Wednesday and we go, chocolate. If you haven't prepared and thought through, well, like, what's the sin I keep taking to Father? And this is a time where we can, tap into the graces to get free. So maybe talk a little bit about self-examination and how we can maybe identify areas of focus for Lent.
Great question. So we should all know our predominant fault, or where we're most inclined to be weak or to sin. So when somebody comes to me in confession and they might say, well, I keep committing the same sin. And then I'll ask them, what are you doing to combat that sin? Are you practicing the opposite virtue?
Yeah.
Because we know we need those good habits to grow closer to Christ, to dispose us to his grace and to imitate him. So if someone's struggling with pride, they have to make acts of humility, letting other people talk first, let other people have food first. When they're driving, let people in. Be open to humiliations and not feeling, or pray the litany of humility. If you're struggling with maybe impure images or pornography, you have to focus on pure images. You got to fight fire with fire. And that means prayer, cleansing your memory, your imagination, using technology well, making real, concrete, practical steps, and even looking up what's the Catholic way to overcome pride or impurity or alcohol or drugs or whatever it is. So it's very important for us to practice virtue. And this is what Christ taught us. When St. Paul says there in Ephesians 6, put on the armor of God, I see that as...
I'm glad you mentioned that again with regarding to predominant fault. That's why we prepared the Root Sin workbook for folks. If you don't know what that means and you've never explored, for instance, like, what is my predominant fault? What I've done is prepared, not the 7 deadly sins. So I've prepared the Johannine, the tripartite Johannine formula, lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, and pride of life, and a questionnaire that helps you to go through that. Now, later on, you want to go to the 7 deadly sins, but this one is a great place to start. If you've never heard this language before that Father is using, check out that Root Sin workbook, and you can find that there. The link is in the comments, SpiritualDirection.com /Lent.